So you have two options when it comes to pocketable cameras. You can build your own, like I'm going to show you in this video, or you can get something pre-made, like this for instance, the LX100 Mark II. Now this is a beautiful street photography camera, walkabout camera, holiday camera. The lens on it is superb. You know, it does everything that you want from a pocketable camera. The issue is it's 750 actual pounds, which is out of the budget for a lot of people when you consider a pocketable camera is probably our second or even third camera in our lineup. So I'm going to show you how to create your own for a much more attractive price. So I wanted to make something that is pocketable, cheaper, much cheaper, versatile, and also maybe with a few lens choices for the budget as well. Now of course other brands are available than Micro Four Thirds, but sometimes you struggle to get small lenses as well as small bodies, and I wanted something that had both a small body and small lenses. So here are some choices. For camera bodies, we have the Lumix GX 800, released in 2017, and I bought this from MPB for £179. So that is getting the budget off to a great start already. Now it's 16 megapixels versus 17 megapixels, but that's negligible. And we have 270 grams versus 390 chunky grams, though that obviously comes with a lens and this is body only. But the best bit is we still have £570 in our imaginary budget, and it won't come anywhere near that at the end, I promise. So other honourable mentions. We have the Olympus Pen PL8, which came out in 2016, which is very small and stylish. And then we have the Lumix GM1, which is even smaller than the GX 800. It's actually the smallest interchangeable Micro Four Thirds camera on the market, and as such it has got quite the cult following and is a heck of a lot more expensive than the GX 800 at the moment. And then we have the Olympus EM10 and the Lumix GX 85 and also the Lumix G100. These are a little bit bigger but a little bit more capable. Some of them have stabilization, not you, the G100. And you know, they're a little bit bigger, so if you do want something that has stabilization and you don't mind it being as pocketable, they're good options. But if you want something properly small, the GX 800 is my winner. It's the perfect balance between a bargain and sort of form and function. We have a flippy screen, and we have a micro SD slot for some bewildering reason. We have a built-in flash, which is adorable. And yeah, it does the job. I love the time-lapse functionality on this as well, so you can make time lapses on the go. It shoots RAW. It does all the things that the bigger Micro Four Thirds cameras do. It's just tiny. The only thing to bear in mind is it doesn't have stabilization, but for your street photography and your out and about photography, I don't think that's the end of the world. Okay, so let's talk about lenses. Here's where the fun really begins, and we have plenty of cool options. My favorite pocketable prime at the moment is the Lumix 14mm f2.8, which I bought from MPB for 109 quid. I mean, talk about a bargain. It focuses really fast and it is very flat on the camera body as well, so you can properly put it in your pocket or in a bag. And it's a good focal length, with it being sort of around 30mm in full frame terms. It's a great walkabout lens, and I've got some really nice images from this lens so far. I also quite like that it has the silvery old school look as well. It's quite cool. So adding that into the budget, we are now at... Next on my shopping list is the very contentious Lumix 20mm f1.7. It's a little bit bigger than the 14mm, but it's very, very nice as well. I got this off MPB for 179. This is the Mark II version. There is a Mark I that is cheaper, but I did like the black and metal finish. Now the reason this is contentious is a few people say that the focus is pretty slow, and while I do think it isn't quite as good as the 14mm in that respect, it's certainly usable. I've got some blooming great images from this, and it's great in low light as well. I used both of these lenses when I was shooting the Lancashire Hotpots at the Manchester Academy a couple of weeks back, and I had my main cameras with me obviously, but I put these in my pocket, and then when I was on stage, I was actually on stage at Manchester Academy, it was so cool. When I was on stage, I could sort of whip it out and take some quick photographs with these primes to give them a test. And I think some of the images were very, very strong and stood up very well to my other cameras. So for quite a minimal, affordable setup, I think the GX 800 and the 14mm would basically be all you need. That gives us £288, and if you wanted to add the 20mm, that would give us 467. So still well under budget compared to the LX100 Mark II. But the fun doesn't stop there, my friend. We have a table full of creative options, and I think the benefit of getting something with an interchangeable lens setup over something that doesn't is you can use it in a plethora of circumstances. We can use it as a walkabout camera, and we can use it as an everyday camera. We can put big lenses on it, small lenses on it, weird lenses on it. Let's have a look at some options. We have the 7 Artisans and Olympus bodycap lenses. These are around £70 each. I got this for 30 quid, in fact, in a secondhand camera shop. They go completely flush to the body. Fun tip, if you want to smuggle in a Micro Four Thirds camera into a venue that doesn't allow interchangeable lenses, stick one of these on the front and then stick your bigger lens in your back pocket and hope you don't get searched. And people will take one look at it and go, oh yeah, it's just a compact camera. In you go, and off you go. These lenses are quite slow. This is only an f8. This is also an f8, I think. Oh, 6.3? Yeah, that's not too bad. So they are used for sort of point and click and off you go sort of setups. It's not the most finessed, but they are really fun to play with. Next we have the 7 Artisans weird 4mm ultra wide circular fisheye, and I took the GX800 to London with this setup and I went around the museum and got some really cool, bizarre images from it. That will set you back around 140 quid, which isn't too bad if you want something to experiment with. If you'd like a really fun bargain, we have the adaptable CCTV lenses. Now I'll pick this up off eBay with the adapter for 25 quid, and I don't know much about the lens, to be honest. I just took a punt on it. It's very rudimentary in the setup. You have a near and far ring for your focusing, and then you do have your aperture ring, and it goes all the way down to f1.4. Now the bokeh from this is super swirly whirly and fun to play with. I went around Berlin Christmas markets with this and got some great shots. And with this camera as a combo, it's tiny, it's incognito, and it's fun. So 25 quid. Another fun system to adapt is the Pentax 110 lenses. Now I got 3 of these for I think 50 quid, and then the adapter is just like a dumb plastic ring adapter like this, so it's very easy to adapt. So you could get all 3 for about 50 quid, and they're really good fun to play with and super duper pocketable. Then we have a few pricier, less pocketable options, but I thought it would be worth mentioning. One of my very favourite prime lenses is the Olympus 17mm, and it's f1.8, and I've banged the ever-living crap out of it over its time, and it does protrude a little bit on the camera body, so it's not the most pocketable, but it's certainly not big by any stretch of the imagination. These still retail at quite a high price, so it's not great for the budget range, but if you do want something a little bit special, I would say that is one to sort of consider. And then because the camera body is not stabilised, having a stabilised pancake prime like this little duder, 12 to 32, is great. It is plastic, fantastic, but I've got some blooming awesome images with this over the years. It's so tiny, and because it is a pancake lens, it is pocketable, I think, in terms of size. It's pretty much identical to the 20mm, which I would class as very pocketable, so definitely worth a consideration. This is a stock lens that you get with a lot of cameras like the G100 or the GX85, so you may have one already, and yeah, well worth it, and the stabilization is very good. Teeny tiny 45mm Olympus lens, also a 1.8. It does protrude a little bit more than the rest, so it's the 20mm. It is a little bit bigger, but it's still tiny, and these are very cheap as well, so we'll stick that in the maybe column. So taking out the maybes, so the Olympus lenses, the more expensive ones, the 8 lenses that I've just mentioned and the camera body comes to 750 quid. So you could either get your LX100 Mark II, which is admittedly a beautiful camera, or you could get all of this lovely stuff and have a really fun experimental setup for the same price, or you could pick and choose and make it much, much cheaper. Thank you so much to MPB for sponsoring this video. As you can see, I live and breathe MPB. It's like a revolving door in this house with my camera and lenses. If you don't know, MPB is the biggest online platform to buy, sell and trade your used photography and videography equipment. So if you're trying to sell something, you can send it off to them. If you want to buy something that's new to you, you can get yourself a bargain. Everything comes with a 6-month warranty, so you've got a little bit of peace of mind, and everything comes with its own classification of quality as well. So for instance, my 14mm lens, I think it was on there as good condition. I didn't want to look for something that was excellent condition. I really wanted to grab a bargain. So depending on your needs, you can get something that's a little bit cheaper with maybe a little bit of cosmetic stuff going on, or you can get something as new, whichever you prefer. If you'd like to build your own pocketable camera, check out the link below for MPB and see if you can find find some bargains. Thanks to them once again for sponsoring this video. So let me know in the comments which combination is your favourite and which would you spend £750 on. And if there's anything that I've missed in terms of small camera bodies or small lenses that you really love, let me know as well and I shall join you in the conversation.